Welcome inside our New York studios. Huge test for Ohio State Saturday on CBS as the Buckeyes and their stingy defense hit the road to take on a Washington team putting up over 55 points per game. But it was Ryan Day's squad proving once again why they are the #1 team in the country. As always, incredible scene with the Sail Gators in Seattle. Sellout crowd, Big Ten unbeatens. Ohio State 4th and inches early. C.J. Donaldson forced backwards, turnover on downs. On the next drive for Washington, Damon Williams over the middle connects with Desmond Roebuck, 20 yards, led to a field goal. It's a 3-0 game.
Yeah, and Ohio State was trailing for the first time all year. 3rd and 11, Julian Sayin off his back foot to Jeremiah Smith, and he does the rest. Buckeyes with a 7-3 lead. And then, third quarter, Buckeyes driving. Sayin gets pressured and throws it away, but Washington's called for a roughing the passer, so you be the judge on this one. But Ohio State gets a first down.
Later in the drive, 3rd and 4, play action rollout. Sayin connects over the middle to Cardell Tate for the first down. The next play, Donaldson punches it in from 1 yard out. The Buckeyes take a 14-3 lead. Washington looking to get going. 4th and 2. And Damon Williams is sacked by Caden McDonald. Donald's turnover on downs on the ensuing Ohio State possession. 4th and 1. Julian Sayin finds a wide open Donaldson for the score. The Buckeyes hold on to win 24-6.
208, 2 touchdowns on 22-28 for the quarterback Julian Sayin. Ryan Day, the head coach, with Jenny Dell after the victory.
His first start ever at Ohio State was against Texas at home, who at the time was the #1, and then his first road start was against a team that's won 22 straight games at home. So he's got composure, he's got poise. He gives really good information during the play. You know, if there were times tonight where I thought I saw something, I went back, watched the film, and he was right. He trusts his reads. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
He certainly does. 4-0 with a grinded-out, huge win to start the season against Texas, a couple of blowouts, and then a tough road victory, statement win at Washington. Julian Sayin, he just looks so cool, calm, and collected back there, Beanie.
That's the thing, you know, when you got a quarterback like him that can distribute the football, can stand in the pocket, know that he's going to take a hit and still stand there and not really pay attention to the rush, you know you have something at the quarterback spot. And we're watching Julian Sayin develop right before our eyes. He's going to be one of those quarterbacks, I don't know if it's this year, but next year, talked about as being one of the best in the country the way that he's playing.
His poise and his patience in the pocket is just... It's beyond his years, right? And the thing you said about him being in the pocket and, you know, his efficiency, just 22 of 28 for 200 yards on the road in a hostile environment. This is one of those things that, you know, we try not to overstate, but having a quarterback keep his cool, keep his eyes downfield, going through his progressions, this says trust. It says trust of not only your receivers, but of your offensive line, of the guys toting the rock behind you. He trusts his defense to have his back. Offensive coordinator, go for it on 4th down. It's okay, you don't get it. This defense came to play today. I like them playing complimentary football, but a young quarterback, man, hats off to how he's doing so far.
Let's stay right there. Washington, only 234 yards of total offense. Kevin mentioned it, a dominant performance by the Buckeye defense.
Oh, no question about it. And it started with the defensive line. You know, there's been so much talk about who was going to replace JTT and Jack Sawyer and all the guys that they lost last season. Well, Caden Curry today, 3 sacks. Caden McDonald, 2 sacks. All they did today was get after the passer and shore up those run lanes to where they didn't allow Coleman to really get going. They did a fantastic job calling this defense. Hats off to Matt Patricia and the job that he's been doing this year. And all the new pieces Ohio State has on that roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball, are stepping up in a huge way.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was one of the naysayers, right? That was the one thing that I was waiting on to see with this year's installation of the Ohio State defense. I wanted to know if the defensive front was going to be as good as it was a year ago. And, man, passing with flying colors, 234 total yards, only 30-something, 40 yards on the ground rushing. I mean, what is that? 661 yards rushing on the ground. To me, when you can do that on the road, we say that different things travel, right? Your run game has to travel, your poise, your patience, your ability not to commit stupid penalties, pre and post snap penalties, but also your defense has to travel to keep the game close, keep their running efforts down to a minimum. I mean, look, they suffocated this offense for all intents and purposes. I mean, they couldn't put up any points against this Ohio State defense, and it gave them time to not have to panic on offense, turn around and hand the ball off. And you talked about Bo Jackson. They needed to start feeding him, and they started doing that in this game as well. So just to me, this is a very methodical, very surgical, on the road type win, but you're looking for different things during a season, benchmarks, have they arrived? Ohio State keeps checking off those boxes of what makes a great team. To me, they look poised to go on another national championship run just because of how they're winning their games thus far this season.
Beanie's been clamoring for Bo Jackson to be the guy. He was the feature guy, 17 carries, 80 yards. Quickly, why do you like him so much?
He's just so explosive. He's decisive in his decision-making. When he decides to stick his foot in the ground and go, he's going. And I think when we look at the big gains that have come from the running back room, they've been predominantly from Bo Jackson. The kid is going to be phenomenal. I just think you got to get him carries early and often. Get him involved in this game plan.
All right, they are 4-0. Let's take a look at the rest of the schedule now for Ohio State with 8 games left in the regular season. It's home against Minnesota, then at 23rd-ranked Illinois, which could be tricky. Illinois got housed by Indiana 63-10 last week, then bounced back with an impressive win against USC this week. It'll be at Wisconsin on the 18th of October, then home against third-ranked Penn State.
I like their schedule, but look, nothing can be said. If you're looking at a Big Ten schedule right now or a remaining SEC-type schedule, there's no way that you can go down and say that all of these games are automatic wins. These are conference games, and no one plays you like the team that sees you once a year, that has seen you once a year for the last, 30 or 40, and has a grudge or a bone to pick with you. So those conference games will not be easy, but, man, Ohio State's got to be favored in a lot of those matchups coming up.
Yeah, man, there's just so much parity in college football, due in part to the transfer portal and NIL, making things so much more even across the board that everybody in the Big Ten is going to pack a punch, and you're going to have to bring your lunch pail and your hard hat when you're going against them. The Big Ten is back. They are tough. They are physical. And down the stretch in October, they always play their best.
This Washington team, on the flip side, drilled their in-state rivals last week. Washington State scored 59, beat them 59-24. They've got wins over Colorado State, UC Davis as well. This is their first loss. This is a 3-1 team. I think this is one of those teams in the preseason that was tough to predict. Do you feel like Washington is probably going to be one of those middle-of-the-road teams in the Big Ten?
I don't believe that they'll be a middle-of-the-road team. I believe that they'll be one of the top 3 teams in the Big Ten. I think when you look at the combination of Damon Williams and Coleman, that 1-2 combo is so deadly. They're going to put up a lot of points and score and run the ball at an effective rate, because both of those guys can pull it down and run it and give you that big gain anywhere on the football field. And right now, when you look across the board at the Big Ten and you look at their schedule, it lines up for them to have an easier slate than some of the other teams in the Big Ten Conference. So I certainly think Washington will be a team to be reckoned with.
Kevin?
Yeah, look, coming into this game, they were averaging, 55 points, and we talked about what they were able to do. Obviously, they ran into a buzzsaw, that is the Ohio State defense, even there at home. But, man, I'm impressed with this Washington team. And like you said, their schedule lines up somewhat favorable down the stretch as to where we're talking about 4 to 5 teams that could make it in the college football playoff. That 3, 4, 5, number 3, 4, 5 team in the Big Ten just very well could be Washington.
Next week, they are on the road against 4-0 Maryland, then home against Rutgers, then on the road against Michigan, then home against Illinois. Obviously, right now, Michigan and Illinois are both ranked teams. That is the story on this one. The Big Ten on CBS game here in week number 5 as Ohio State went to Washington. They get the win, 24-6.